Yo, it's a beautiful Friday, and you know that the first Friday of every month is going to be NFP, right? And today we do have NFP in just 15 minutes. So I decided to just look at the charts to see if I can actually get a really nice, setup, a really nice analysis. And I looked at Nasdaq, right? But then, my laptop is acting up, so I'm going to be trading off of my phone. I looked at Nasdaq, and it absolutely looks really bad for NFP. That is why I'm always saying that you should not risk all of your capital on that first spike. I did drop it in the free signal group right now that which side of liquidity are you on, because it clearly looks like a liquidity trap. You can see the little range. How do you know it's going to go up or it's going to go down? Because both sides have money resting at the top and at the bottom, right? But I was looking at US30, and US30 has an absolutely perfect setup. You do remember that we left US30 at this zone, and it has a little trend line that is respecting right over here, because Nasdaq and US30 normally move alike. I now know that Nasdaq will buy because US30 has a good buying technical setup. So now remember, you cannot trade NFP using technical analysis alone. Yes, technical analysis is really good, but then the non-farm payrolls, this is more like fundamental analysis. You need to understand how to read news and all of those other things. So technical analysis here might actually not work. Just because I'm seeing a really good technical analysis setup, it does not mean that it actually would do that, right? But then I'm actually going to just put in my buy for the spread increases, because you know that the brokers are always trying to increase their spreads, before the news, right? So we're just going to go into let me see how much will give me $100. Let me take $100 on each trade if it goes in my direction, and then I'll lose $100 on each trade if it goes against. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to put my take profits on 3 trades, and then I'll put another take profit at the top. I don't drop NFP signals because we never risk on the spike. I just want to trade it because I can see a really good setup on a US30, and I am willing to take the risk, right? So you should be willing to always take the risk. If you go into something, you should always know the risk that comes with it. All right, so we're already in my trades, and I have my take profit set. We're just going to wait for the non-farm payroll news to be released. All right, it's just like 2 minutes to NFP right now, so we're going to just watch. Yo, all right, that is us done for the day. We're actually going to close off the market. I think I'll look for a signal for the inner circle on Nasdaq only, but NFP has been obliterated, as you've just seen. And if I actually don't find a signal, I'll see you guys during the weekly analysis on Sunday. What is up, beautiful traders? How you guys doing? I am doing absolutely lovely, and welcome back to another Sunday video where I actually share my insights on Nasdaq, my best setups, my ideas, where in simple terms we are just preparing for the week ahead. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We trade the Nasdaq over here. If you're returning, welcome back. You already know what's up. Don't forget to hit the like button, turn on your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be doing a lit giveaway when we hit 20,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So we had a really good closing to the week on Friday. As you can see, the inner circle absolutely had a lovely trade right after NFP, and as you saw in the first part of the video, we absolutely destroyed that spike during NFP on US30, right? So we ended up catching a good Nasdaq trade upon the retracement. Like I always say, if you do miss the spike on NFP, I mean, you're always going to catch a really good setup when the market retraces, because it never spikes up to the top and continues spiking up to the top, or spikes down to the bottom and continues shooting down to the bottom, right? It's going to get to a certain spot and then find a breather, right? And then move back a little bit, a little retracement if it wants to, and then continues with its overall trend, or actually reverse the trend. So that little retracement is what you can actually always catch and join the overall movement if you miss the first spike, because trading news is always going to be risky at the end of the day. But I'm super happy that we had NFP coming out really strong, which was good for the US stocks. Nasdaq absolutely shot up, US30 shot up. So we're just going to dive right into it and see how we're going to maneuver the market for this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by checking if we have news events, because normally after NFP we do have CPI and FOMC, one of those two. I don't know which one we do have for next week, but it's just better safe than sorry. So you always want to check, what news event you have for that current week or for that day before you actually just start trading. All right, so as you can see, on Monday and Tuesday we do not have news. We do have news on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, they are all 3 head news, and we have FOMC minutes. This doesn't really move a lot. right? Because it's just like a meeting. It's a meeting for, you know, FOMC, but it's not really FOMC. So I don't really think this will move the market. And besides, we'll be done trading at 9 o'clock, right? I always want to trade during the New York session. So yeah, obviously we do want to trade CPI also. And always remember not to risk all of your capital on the spike. It doesn't matter of NFP, it doesn't matter of CPI, it doesn't matter on PMI. Just don't always risk, you know, on news if you actually don't know the direction that it's going to spike. You know, it's better to wait for the spike. I don't know how many times I should say this so that people can understand, but then this is basically what we're looking at. Now onto our Nasdaq chart, as you can see right over here. So this was our closing trade for Nasdaq, which was absolutely really beautiful. You can clearly see what happened over here in the free signal group, right? Let me just show y'all this. If you're not in it, make sure you click the link in the description below so you don't miss on my lit setups that I actually drop in the group, right? So right before CPI, I did ask, you know, who's ready for CPI, and my laptop was actually acting up on Friday, so I had to analyze and trade CPI on my phone. So as you can see, I did drop this right over here, and we had the market ranging at this zone. We had the market ranging at this zone, right? So which side of liquidity were you on? It's so clear. This is not a good buy nor sell signal if you actually don't have an insider telling you that NFP is going to spike up to the top, right? So it would have been better for you to actually wait if you were going to trade a Nasdaq on this place, right? So people did, you know, vote to say buy NFP, and yeah, it did buy at the end of the day. But you can clearly see my vote right over here. Wait for the spike, then buy from a good point of interest. I did also vote, you know, on this little thing, right? So let's see what the market actually did. So we had the market sweeping out all of the money that was here. A lot of people, be honest, comment down below if you actually sold the NFP, because a lot of people were looking at sells right at this level, right? And then it just spiked right to the top, swept out all of the stop losses. You know, a lot of people would have stop loss here, right? If you sell at this level, you have your stop loss right after this spike. If you are really a risky trader, probably right here, others here, you know, and then all of these stop losses were taken out. And then the market went to come and, you know, sell from this zone. And then I waited to give a signal in the inner circle. As a matter of fact, I do not give signals when we have news, because that is very risky. If anything, I'll always take the signal just by myself and then not risk other people's accounts, right? So this is what happened. You can clearly see that the market dropped right back. It always breaks out and then comes to retest. And then from this retest right here, right, we caught it right at the zone. It retested this level that it broke out, and then it just, you know, spiked right up to the top. And just to make sure I'm saying things that make sense, you can clearly see this is the Nasdaq trade. Buy Nasdaq TP1, update stop loss. We had 170, almost 180 pips in the inner circle. So to say the least, we did have a really good week last week. Most of my trades, if not all of them, hit take profit. Wait, nah, did I not take? I think I took a losing trade. Let me just check to confirm. I did have a losing trade, or did I not? Let me just see this in the inner circle. Oh yes, it makes so much sense. So we did open with a losing trade that we held over the weekend. So the market opened and hit our stop loss first. So this was our losing trade right over here on Monday. But then we did recover. You can clearly see that we did recover. And we had 2 losing trades. Oh no. And then we had US30. Okay. And then we had Nasdaq. Oh, flip. Oh, we actually had 2 losing trades. I actually thought we did not even have a losing trade, but it's all good. That's the reality of trading. So we did have 2 losing trades in the inner circle. One was just because we held over the weekend and the market opened, you know, and just hit our stop loss. But it's all good. That brings us to our weekly analysis. And I'm super excited for this week, because you should know that after NFP, everything else is just a flowery bed of ease. Yo, I'm just joking. You do need to analyze. And now let's talk to Nasdaq. Let's see what it's saying. We do start by deleting every single thing, because we always want to trade with a clean chart and then want to do top-down analysis. Since you need to know what is happening on the higher time frame, because the smaller time frame is just a bunch of noise. On the smaller time frame, there is nothing of paramount importance there, unless you just want to scalp in and out. So if you do remember, on one of our weekly analysis, I think it's 2 weeks before this current week, right, we were sitting at this level, and we did say that the market had broken out of this particular trend line, right? And then it was just retesting it, and then you see it just went up to the top, right? So that still stands. And then from last week, our weekly analysis from last week, we were sitting at this zone, right? So let's see where Monday was. So this was Monday, yes, and then we went up. This was last week. We went up to the top, and then Friday we closed off at this level, and then Monday we opened here. So this week we kind of like sold, right? You see, we kind of like sold a little bit, and then it just shot back up on Friday. You can clearly see that it was retesting these zones, and that is exactly what I did say in the weekly analysis. So what were we saying? We're saying that we did have this trend line, remember. Ooh, yo, I want you to know how it respected it to the dot, right? So I think it was somewhere around here. Where did we close off the market, right? So this was Friday. Yes, this was Friday right here. I want you to notice how this was respected to the dot, right? So this is where the market opened on Monday. This was our weekly analysis. If you remember, this is exactly what a weekly analysis was looking like. Trend lines are actually one of the most underrated tools that you can get on this platform, right? You can clearly see that with just the trend line analysis correctly drawn week to week, wait for the market to come and fall on the third touch, whether it breaks out, whether it retests, you now look for an entry. You could have had a really good set. So that's exactly what the market did. It tapped right onto our trend line, rejected. You can clearly see that as it tapped onto the trend line, right, it rejected right back. This should automatically tell you that the sellers don't have power anymore, right? They're getting threatened in this market. What you would have wanted to do at this level, after you see this week right here, right, the sellers dropped the market and then they just wicked right back up. You want to go and see what's happening on the lower time frames. Look, yo, just look at how perfect this is. You go and then you see this indecision candle right here on the 1 hour time frame. What on earth would stop you from buying this trade? So this doesn't even mean that this trade would automatically go into profit, but this is an A+ setup. There's a high chance that this trade was going to just buy as it did, that it dropping. That does not mean that the trade could not go in loss, but it is an A+ setup just using a trend line. This was the weekly analysis, guys. You all watched the video and I hope you did capitalize. So we can actually take it up from this part here with the weekly analysis, because what I'm saying is you can clearly see that the market has broken out of the zone, right? So we were having the market playing around here because there are a lot of people that wanted to buy and sell at the same time, right? You can clearly see that the buyers, they dominated. Why? Because look, we're on an uptrend overally. You can see this, right? We're on an uptrend. So the buyers are always going to win when we're on an uptrend, unless it's a reversal of trend. That's why I'm always saying we go with the trend, right? So the buyers clearly won, and then it broke out of that level, and then, right, this is what we're looking at now. So where the market currently is a really major zone. It can retrace from this level because you can clearly see we have 1 touch, 2, 3, 4, and then these were fake outs. These couldn't reach, but then we can consider this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10th time the market playing around at this level. So it's a really important level in the market. And then the next one I want to mark up is this week here, and then probably this. We can body. That's not bad. And then if it wants to continue, it'll go up to the top. So I'm going to mark up this level here, and then would mark up the last one being this one. Meaning if it breaks out of here, we're actually targeting the top part, right? So let's go on to our 4 hour time frame and see what that actually means. This could be used for scalping, because if it does close out of here, we don't know from which level could it just start retracing, right? So it could be a risky trade. So we would want to take out our trend line, but then here is really too many lines here. So we want to take out our trend line week to week. You can clearly see that we did have 1 touch, 2 touch, and then we broke the trend line. What are we saying? That we want to see it getting retested for us to get a really good entry. If it gets retested, where we'll buy is probably from this level right in here. If it comes back to retest, so it can retest the trend line right by the trend line, or it can come back inside of it to retest it. So we could actually draw another one here, right? So it could come back to this level, or it can play around here. So this would be our point of interest right here, right? So we could clear that, and then let's drop it down to maybe the 1 hour time frame. I'll just leave the trend line intact so it makes more sense when I'm explaining there. Ooh, on the 1 hour time frame, we can already see a really good break and retest. You can see that the market broke out of this thing, it came back as a retest, and then it started to buy right over here. Now we want to mark up if it breaks. So we're already done with buying from these zones at the bottom. We want to see if it actually breaks out of this zone. So it does break out of this zone. Really, I don't want to buy it in this level because there's a chance that it would retest. I would want to buy it after it breaks out of this zone right here. So if it comes and breaks out of this level, then I would be good for a buy, already knowing that it's coming to actually target this zone right here, right? So that's basically it. It doesn't look so complicated. Doesn't look so complicated at all. Actually, does not look so complicated at all. You just need to understand what the market is doing as it progresses. So the market is always going to be forming new setups as it progresses. You just have to be able to interpret them and actually act really fast off of those setups. And that's about it. We're looking good actually on the Nasdaq. So what you need to understand is the stocks in the long run are always going to go up. There's a high chance that they're always going to go up in the long run, that actually go down. The companies really have to do bad for them to now, go down like that. So we're always going to be with the bulls when we're trading stocks like this. Well, at least for now, that's what I actually think. That's what I've seen in most of the time. But if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel, because that will help the algorithm and it will help my channel grow. So if you do enjoy these videos that I do make effort to post for you guys, just hit on that subscribe button, hit on that like button. And with that, it's been Tino. I'll see you in the next lit video. Peace.